welcome everybody to our iLearn class this afternoon. I hope you're all back on board, because if you're not, you're going to stay in Iceland and it's going to be very, very, very cold. But at least it's light outside. Before we get started, I want to give you a little bit of info on myself, and why I like to show this video is this is actually how Celebrity found me 6.5 years ago. They came across this YouTube video you're about to see, and they rang me up and they said, "Hey Rich, we got this idea to put an Apple store at sea. You know about Apple, you know about all these things. You want to come out, you want to give it a try." I was actually an elite member at the time. That's very funny. So I've actually cruised a lot all my life, and when they called, I took this opportunity. This is how they originally found me. I like to show this in this class because this was the first iLearn class to ever leave the iLounge. It was all about apps. So we're going to play this, and we're going to go ahead and get started.
While many college students are at the beach working on their tans in summer, there are some who are using their summer break to give back to the community. People like a young computer major you're about to meet who had all the brain power and right connections to help inner city kids. Here's today's Good News segment.
Well, the TCP IP with the DHCP server, it may sound like a foreign language, but all this computer jargon does make sense to 20-year-old Richard Shillington, a bright information technology major who really thinks with his heart.
So I feel that this is really just going to benefit the community and benefit the world as a whole.
Richard wanted to make a difference for less fortunate children here in South Florida by installing an innovative educational program that makes learning on the computer fun and easy. He had the right software, but needed the right hardware.
Come on in, I'll show you where the computers are.
Which is where Scott Ross of the law offices of Green Spoon Martyr comes in.
Yeah, I've got one set up for you.
After talking to Richard and sharing the idea with partners at the firm, Scott offered to donate 10 good quality computer systems to give Richard's
Good
project
quality.
the boost it needed.
If you do general research or printing paper or something like that, that's a fantastic system.
Richard worked his magic on all 10 systems and delivered them to the Miami Rescue Mission's Community Activity Center, which among other programs offers free computer classes to kids.
Our place at the Miami Rescue Mission allows an opportunity for them to come and say, "Oh, we do have a station in the computer that we can come to and we can work off of it."
But there were only 5 computers for 120 kids to share. Now, thanks to this donation, the Miami Rescue Mission has doubled its capacity, and there's more on the way.
We have probably about 50 and even more again.
Which will keep Richard busy all summer long and enrich these kids' lives for years to come.
I like computer because they can help me do better in school.
So I like to show that. That's something I did quite a few number of years ago. And I've always been involved in computer education. And before we get started with this apps class, there's actually something in the news I'd like to address. I'm sure if you've paid attention to the news, I want to give you my interpretation on what's happened recently. And I'm going to give you, because I think this is important. It's not built into the apps class today, but I think it's very important. Are we all familiar with what's been happening, or are some of us not familiar with what's been happening? Okay, so we should be familiar because it's on the front page of every newspaper in the world. And what's very amusing is if you were in my Google Photos class, I kind of predicted this. I said that the next world war is not going to be fought with guns and bullets and stuff like that. It's going to be fought on the internet. And one of the most important things to learn from this is every time your device says it has an update, update it immediately. Because the reason this happened is people don't update their computers. Microsoft, I'm going to say something good about Microsoft, don't lie. Microsoft actually patched this problem in March. The problem is when it says there's a Windows update that needs to be installed, we all hit, do it later. Do it later. Do it later. Do it later. And it's a really, really big deal. If you are at home and you still have a Windows computer at home, the first thing you need to do once you get home is run those updates. You need to make sure you run updates on all your machines. If you have a Mac, don't worry about it. It's fine. The Macs don't have this problem. But it's called CryptoLocker, and what it does is it encrypts all of your files. And some of the files you can never get back are your documents and your pictures and your video. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow in here at 1 o'clock. But for now, let's go ahead and let's talk all about apps. Now, All About Apps was actually the original iLearn class, and I was on this ship. I took All About Apps out of the iLounge, and I brought it into Celebrity Central. On our transatlantic, we did All About Apps in the theater with 1,100 people, just to give you an idea. So we went from about 3 people in the I Lounge to 1,100 people in the theater. Unless I say otherwise, all of the apps I'm going to show you today are free. So tomorrow I may show you some paid apps, but unless I say otherwise, everything I'm going to show you today is free, and most everything I'm going to show you today will work across iPhones and iPads and Androids and Kindles and all of those other devices like that. Now, how many of you have never downloaded an app before? Okay, that's okay. Because here's the thing. We all know if we have a mobile device, we have a tablet, anything like that, you have Safari and you have Chrome. And on a computer, you live inside of Safari or Chrome or Internet Explorer or Firefox or other things like that. The thing that's important to understand is these devices, as weird as what I'm about to say sounds, these devices are not designed for web browsing. The web browsing is a secondary option. Safari's there if you need to Google something real quick or something like that. They're not fast enough to work like web browsing like a real computer. So what they've done is they've taken these websites, these services, and they put them in little tiny containers called apps. And how we get those apps on an iPhone or an iPad is in the App Store. On an Android phone is in Google Play. On the Amazon Kindle Fire tablets is in the Amazon Kindle Fire Store. On a Windows computer, it's in the Windows App Store. On a Mac, it's in the Mac App Store. Apps are generally single-use things that give you an idea of what's going on. So if you've never gone ahead and gotten an app before, where you start is you start in your respective devices' App Store. Now, one of the things is, in the Apple App Store, there's only about 5 million apps right now. Just 5 million. Now, those are the worldwide ones. There are specific ones for China and different places that show up in different places. There's only 5 million. So when we go to the App Store, what do we usually do to find the app we're looking for? We go up, we go to the search box, and we type in Starbucks. I don't even like Starbucks, but it just comes to my mind. I type in Starbucks. I type in whatever I want to look for. I type into the App Store. The app will go ahead and figure out what's going on, and it will show me what I need to see. But here's the important thing. All of the app stores have featured pages, meaning pages that the new apps come out, and they highlight the new apps and different things like that. And my favorite time of the featured pages is in February. You see we've got a featured section right up here, and there's just a bunch of games and different things like that. But you know what was all up here yesterday? Mother's Day apps. It was all up there yesterday and the day before. We had Mother's Day apps. My favorite is the month of February. In the first week of the month of February, at the top of your app store in the featured section, you will see online dating applications. Because nobody wants to be alone in Valentine's Day. Second week of February, you know what you see there? Flower buying applications. Because no one wants to be without flowers on Valentine's Day. And you guess what comes out right after Valentine's Day? I kid you not, this is true. Legal paperwork applications. For if you messed up Valentine's Day. That's actually not a joke. It was very, very funny. Right after the flower day, it was like LegalZoom. Get your legal paperwork in order. File divorces, annulments, all kinds of things. Oh my God. But the cool thing is the featured section generally guides you. I'll give you another example. If you have an iPad, there's a new product that came out with the latest iPads called the Apple Pencil. And when that product came out, they put out all kinds of applications that were available for the Apple Pencil on there as well. So you have your featured section that's got new apps we love, new games we love, more games you might like. This is kind of amusing. You know, we're in Iceland, and it says explore the night sky. I don't know if the Northern Lights are going to happen. I don't think they're going to happen, but because I know someone who trekked for 5 hours. They went out into the middle of Iceland last night to go see it, and didn't see anything. But these are all apps for tracking the night sky. You can track all these different things. Now, the thing is, most of us just search for an app. We don't play around on this screen. Almost every app I'm going to show you was once on this featured section screen. Now, featured is curated by people, meaning that people find apps that are good. Now, there's another list that you have on all of them that are your top charts. The top apps in 3 different categories. The top free apps, the top paid apps, and the top grossing apps. Every single app has a rating on it, from a little part of a star up to 5 stars. There's only one single 5-star app I have ever seen, and it's called Google Photos. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We're going to talk about in the apps class in here. We're going to do another apps class, but it's different than this one. in here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. It's not going to be on the main daily program, but it's on your Captain's Club welcome letter, and I think most of you are Captain's Club members, so I can remind you of that. But, you know, when you go and you look at the stars, some apps range from a penny, 99 cents, they can be free. They can start at 99 cents and then go up to $999.99. One of my favorite $999.99 apps was called I'm Rich. All you did is you bought the app for $999.99, you open it up and it said, you're rich. Then here's what's great. It was inside the app, it said, do you want to be more rich? And you can pay an additional $999.99 to say, I'm really rich. You laugh, that app made millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Some people have more money than common sense. Let's just leave it at that. But when you look at a paid app, if you have a paid app and it's rated, oh, that's actually a pretty high rated app. Maybe I should get it. Oh, it's paid. If you have a paid app and it is rated less than 4 stars, should you get it? No. No. If you have a paid app and it's rated less than 4 stars, I wouldn't even think about it, to give you the concept. Now, here's the question. If you have a free app and it's rated less than 4 stars, should you get it? Why not? It's free. If it's terrible, you just delete it. Now, what's interesting is the top paid apps are from rather big companies. One of them, the top paid apps is Procreate, which is a sketching app. One of these actually fell off on the top free apps. It used to be Minecraft on the top paid apps. This is the top paid apps. Then you have the top free apps, but they no longer say free on them, do they? No. They say get. It's due to the thing that there is no such thing in this world as a free app, except for the last app I'm going to show you today. What do I mean by that? Well, if you download the Pizza Hut app, it's free, but what's the purpose of the Pizza Hut app? To buy pizza. If you download the Google Translate app, which is an app we're going to talk about in a couple minutes, it's free, but what's the purpose of that app? To get you more into Google services. That's the point. So they actually changed the regulations. It's the European Union that changed those regulations and said you can't use the word free, and that's why the apps aren't called free anymore, and that's why if you try and buy an app, it will say, do you want to purchase this app? And some of you are like, but it's free, why do I have to purchase it? We'll get to that in just a few seconds. But the interesting one is top grossing. Now, top grossing apps are very, very interesting. Candy Crush, any of you played that before? At the height of its popularity, Candy Crush was making over $1 million every 24 hours on a free application. Yes. How many of you have ever spent money on Candy Crush before? Thank you for being honest, ma'am. Everyone else is lying. Thank you for your honesty. Here's the interesting thing. These are free apps. Game of War, Mobile Strike, and Clash of Clans are 3 free apps that have had Super Bowl commercials. You want to question how much money free apps make if they have a Super Bowl commercial? They're not free. But that's what's really quite cool. So you can actually see the top charts and you can see the things that are trending. What's interesting is that Skype's coming back. Skype hasn't been up there for a long time. But you got WhatsApp, Skype, Cut the Rope, all these other ones like that. Now, once you buy an app on one device, that app is then tied to either your Apple ID or your Google account, and you can get it across all of your devices. And what's cool is if you get a new device, there's a section in all of the app stores that says purchased. And this is every app you've ever purchased before in the order you purchased it. So just so we can see, there's 4.5 to 5 million apps in the App Store, and these are all the ones I've ever purchased before. Oh, I made it to the bottom, but here's the question. What came first, the iPhone or the iPad? The iPhone. So I'm just looking at iPad apps. I need to go back deeper to iPhone apps as well. And some of you will get a good chuckle out of the first 2 apps I ever got. AIM Chat and AOL Radio. Those are the first 2 apps I ever got. That dates myself a little bit. Yeah, at one point in time, I too had an AOL account. It's hard to admit, but I did. But the last thing in the App Store before we start talking about apps, and this is very important concerning what happened earlier today, updates, 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 updates. How many of you keep your apps up to date? So, If you don't keep your apps up to date and there's a problem, guess what happens? Bad things happen if you don't keep your apps. Now what's really cool though is you can actually read what's changed in the app update. So if you go to updates and you click there, you can see the apps that have updated and you can read what's changed. I'll give you an example. Facebook actually just changed their app a lot in the last 2 days or so. It's got a brand new layout. I don't know if I like it or not, but it's got a brand new layout on Facebook and it's completely changed the way that it normally goes ahead and works. So it will tell you when something updates what that update did to the app as well. So remember, we need to update and we need to update. And if we forget to update, what else do we need to do? Update, because that's how we don't get our files crypto lockered, which is not a very good thing at all. I don't want to turn on Bluetooth. Okay, so what we're going to do is now we're going to talk about some apps. I'm going to put my phone up on the screen and we're going to get talking about some different applications. Now, I'm going to be showing this on an iPhone, but most of these applications I'm going to show are going to work across anything. The first app I want to show you is a little app called Google Translate. Have any of us ever heard of this app before? You haven't. I've had it for a while too. I'm looking for something. Where's my video? I have to go back when I was in Disney. I know a little bit of Spanish. I'll show you how far my Spanish goes. That's me flying my drone in my underwear. Can't show you that. But when you get on Disney and you go on the monorail, they go, please stay clear of the doors. And they go, por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas. Or,
the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas.
That's me doing my por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas. But what's cool is and that's what I do when I'm in the elevator and people are talking Spanish and the door opens. I go, por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas. And then they start talking to me in Spanish and I don't speak another word of Spanish other than what I've memorized. I'm like, no comprende. It's really quite cool. But this is an app called Google Translate. Really cool application, and what I can do is I can do a couple of things. I want to show you things you've seen in Google Translate before and things you've never seen in Google Translate before. So if I type in an English word, I can say hello, and hopefully it will translate it over to hola. So English to Spanish, it'll go hello, and it'll go hola, which is showing me right down there. But here's where this gets cool. This is something that Google Translate you probably didn't know it can do. Does anybody have a copy of the daily program on them? Celebrity Today. Let me steal that from you. Now, what language is this daily program in? English. English? Yeah. So it's written in English. Now, what I can do, what if I told you I could use Google Translate, point it at something that's written in English, and automatically have that translated to another language? Here's the cool thing. Without an internet connection. That's where this starts to get really cool. So it says top tips. I'm going to go from English to Spanish, and now it says superior por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas. Evening is probably noche. Let's see. Tarde. Okay, I was close. Daytime. O dia. Eclipse today is eclipse hoy. And we've even got this class that's going on right here, all about apps, and I can go ahead and go like that. Todo sería aplicaciones. Now, what I use this for is when I go out to restaurants. One of my favorite places is Russia. I love Russia, and I love the Nevsky Prospect. I want to show you something from Russia. And this is the reason that I use Google Translate. I went to a very famous Russian establishment. Come on. And I ordered some chicken nuggets, and I wanted some barbecue sauce for my chicken nuggets. They hand me this thing that the only English word on it is Heinz. What do you assume it is? Ketchup. I took Google Translate, pointed at it, went from Russian to English, and it said barbecue sauce. So I knew I could have my chicken nuggets. I then went to another fancy Russian establishment called... No. Okay, well, what does that say underneath? It says, world famous buns with cinnamon. Or to give you a really simple one before and after, this sign was in front of a Russian palace. If you've never been to Russia, when you start walking on the street, you'll trip over one palace, and then you just walk a couple feet, you trip over another palace, and you see a sign that says, no raccoons On the xylophone. Close enough, but no, it says on lawns, not walk. Just to give you a little concept there. So Google Translate will actually translate written text and visually shown text to it between any languages you want, which is really quite cool. So I can actually translate between a whole bunch of different languages just by typing in. And there's hola, but I can even talk it too. That's the cool thing. I can say, hola, mi llamo es Ricardo. That means my name's Richard. Hola, mi llamo es Ricardo. Now, sometimes it doesn't like to play because I'm going out to a screen, I'm on a microphone, but what's cool is you can go in and you can have this discussion right on the application. The name of that app, again, is Google Translate. It's completely free, works on any platform. You do need to download the languages individually. So you go in, I'll just show you real quick, I can go into Translate, and if I wanted to talk another language, I could say I wanted to talk Arabic. Yeah, I'm not seeing that happen. Chinese, no. Estonian, there we go, that's easy. And I can download the offline translation file for Estonia, and it will download the offline translation file for Estonia. Now that's a very, very useful app, because you can actually talk with people all over the world, but there's another really useful app. How many of you have been in the movies lately? Yeah? Movie theater? If you go to a movie theater, even Celebrity Central, which is a movie theater, sometimes when you're in the movie theater, you go, you get a giant Coke, you're halfway through the movie, and what do you have to do? You have to pee. Now imagine for a second if there were an app that would tell you during a movie when you could go pee. It's called Run Pee. It's called Run Pee. It is sponsored by the overactive bladder medication Rabicue. And here's Run Pee. I got to figure out the last movie I saw. What's the last movie I saw? Beauty and the Beast. I saw Beauty and the Beast, the new Beauty and the Beast. And I can go in, and it will tell me during this movie there are 4 times which I can run and pee. Very simple. 4 times during the movie I can run and pee. Time number 1 is 36 minutes in. Time number 2 is 58 minutes in. Time number 3 is 1 hour and 4 minutes in. But the time I used was 1 hour and 29 minutes in. When Belle sees her father in the mirror in trouble, the Beast says, "You must go to him, no time to waste." Now what's cool is you open it up and you turn on a timer when the Disney logo fades. And 1 minute before each pee time, it will actually vibrate in your pocket. I'm not quite sure about that whole vibrate in the pocket thing. And if you're wearing a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or some other different type of monitor, it'll not only vibrate, it'll actually tell you. And then what's cool is you go, you race, you go to the bathroom, you take down the zipper, and you read what's happening during the movie while you're peeing. Now some pees are longer than others. This is a 5-minute pee. As you've seen, it's properly called the synopsis. And it gives you a great concept on how long you have to go, run, and pee. Great application called Run and Pee. The other cool thing is nowadays movies start to have stuff after the credits. So you can say, is there anything after the credits? It'll show you if there's anything after the credits. And one of the most useless features on this app is it will tell you what happens if you're running late to the movie. But movies have 45 minutes of trailers before them now anyway, so how can you really run late to a movie? I've tried, and I just can't. That one is called Run Pee. Next application is an application I could...
Are you writing that down?
You're actually, of course, it's very useful. It's a good one. Okay, here's another good one. What is the #1 company when I say learn a new language that comes to mind? Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone is a great way to learn Spanish. I tried. It's a great way to learn Spanish, but here's the thing about Rosetta Stone. Have any of you ever used it before? Yeah. It's expensive. So here's what's really interesting. There's an alternative app to Rosetta Stone that is free. It's called Duolingo. Duolingo. It's called Duolingo. And I can say I want to learn Spanish. Am I a beginner? Sí. I'm actually a little more advanced if I can say sí. And what's cool is it's actually going to load up different lessons where I can learn how to do different things in Spanish and other languages like that. Not only can I do Spanish, I can learn all of these other languages for free. Spanish, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Dutch, Irish, Danish, Swedish, Turkish, Esperanto, Norwegian. There's two I've been trying to learn to pick up the ladies in the dining room, Ukrainian and Russian. Speak a little bit. The only words they've said back to me are "niet." I'm not 100% sure what that is, but you can learn Polish, Welsh, Hebrew, Vietnamese, Hungarian, Greek, and Swahili. So I can learn all of those different languages right on there, and it is free. And you go, okay, Rich, it's free. Explain how they make money. So what they've done is once you graduate from this program, you can actually become a human translator. Have you heard of human translation before? You don't want to put a business document into Google Translate. That would be a really, really bad idea to put a business document into Google Translate. So you don't put the business document into Google Translate, you can actually translate, and you get paid for being a human translator, which is what's really, really cool. So again, if I wanted to learn, it works very, very similar to Rosetta Stone. It has to download the language pack, but it will work very similar to Rosetta Stone, and I can go through all kinds of different languages. I have accomplished lesson 1 of 3 in the basics, which is La Mujer, El Hombre, El Agua, all kinds of other fun things like that. But when we're talking about language learning, what is the universal language of the world? No. Sign language, Chinese. Someone's going to say love. I'm an engineer. What's the official language of the world? Math. Math. Now I showed you Google Translate, and then I showed you a little language learning software, and now I want to show you my sister's math homework. That's my sister's math homework. Algebra. Now, me and my 2 sisters all had the same math teacher in school. And what was so funny is when I was going through high school, I would always ask my teacher, why do I need to learn this stuff? And she'd go, because you're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket. So now she can't use that on my sister anymore. Math teaches you how to think. Anyway, but here's what's really cool. Imagine if there were a Google Translate for homework. This is one you can take home to the kids. It's called Photomath. It's called Photomath, and it's like a Google Translate for homework. So I can go in. Hey, I'm going to go in. I know how this app works, and I take it. I point it there. 3x equals 9. X equals 3. 4x plus 7 equals 346. X equals 339 over 4. 3x plus 7x plus 42 equals 342. X equals 30. Any teachers in the room? What are you going to say? What? Where's the work? That's what she was going to say. There we go. Here's the work. Sorry, teachers. But it's really quite a cool application. It's called Photomath. Now, I want to show you another app that's going to be quite a bit more useful. We actually just came back, that's a piece of paper. We just came back from Norway last cruise. This cruise has a whole bunch of different currencies. Do any of you know what this Icelandic krona is worth? I don't know. So imagine if there was an app that allowed you to convert anything. Not just money, but when I always ask what temperature it is, and people always tell it back to me in Celsius. And I'm an American, and I like my water to freeze at 32, not 0. So that's all I'm going to say. I like my water to freeze at 32 degrees, not 0. It's a great app. It's called Converter Plus. I use this one all the time. I actually used it yesterday because someone asked how big a millimeter was, because there was going to be, supposedly when we're getting to Akureyri, there was going to be 1 millimeter of snow that was falling during the hour we were getting there, and nobody knew what a millimeter was. So I went into this and I typed in length distance, I put in 1 millimeter. This is also another one when the captain comes on and goes, boom, boom, hello, attention, this is Captain Michael from Navigation Bridge. I want to let you know that the next port is going to be 217 nautical miles away. Do you know what a nautical mile is? Oh, we got a nerd in the audience. But what's cool is I can type in 245 nautical miles, and that shows me that it's 281 miles, or I don't have kilometers in here, or 1,488,648.294 feet. And I go in and I convert these things. This is all in the same app. That's what's cool. As I was saying with temperature, I can put in temperatures. I can put in speeds. I asked one of the engineers on board, I go, engineer on board, how fast do the elevators on board move? According to your comment cards, they don't. But he told me they move at 35 feet per second. I said, thank you for that, in something I understand. So I've typed in 35 feet per second, and I figured out that that is 23 miles per hour, which is a really, really cool trick to be able to do. Figure out velocity and speed. Oh wait, and I forgot the most useful thing that I've been using it for is it also does money. So it does money, and I have all these different currencies. I have the Norwegian krone, I have the Japanese yen, the British pound, and it's got a calculator built in. So if you wanted to figure out what was going on, if you wanted to compare the price of something that's in the US and in the UK, you know, in the States you have to add the sales tax, in the UK the VAT's already there. I do this all the time. I do this math right here. This is my go-to app for converting anything. I can convert absolutely anything I want to convert right inside of that application. Now the next app I'm going to show you is where the future of apps is headed. Have any of you ever heard of virtual reality before? You've probably heard of virtual reality before. Virtual reality is big with the nerds. Virtual reality is not going to take off with the people in this room. I can make you that promise. It's because it doesn't work well with glasses. It's just kind of, it's not going to take off. But here's what is going to take off. And mark my words on this. Something called augmented reality. Have you ever heard of augmented reality before? I want to show you two augmented reality applications. Now, we're going to talk about augmented reality a little bit further, but I want to show you an augmented reality application that I use. I actually used it in Dublin because me and my assistant didn't want to go to the gym that day, so we walked to town in Dublin. We walked from the ship to town, and we used this application called Car Finder. And what it is, this is an augmented reality app to show you where you parked your car, or we don't have a car, where we parked the ship. So what you do is you download this app, and when you get out of your car, you say, I parked here. And it will mark where you parked. We can say normal, could be faster. And it's going to get, okay, I parked here. And then when you go back, all you have to do is take your phone, put it like this, and you're going to have a big old arrow pointing exactly to where your car is. The idea of augmented reality is that it augments your reality. So, we'll talk about that. I want to show you another concept of augmented reality. This is a really cool concept of augmented reality. I'll take off my belt pack to show you this. Put it in my back pocket. So, what is this right here? $1 American dollar that's wet from butt sweat. TMI. But this is a really cool thing, because imagine if I could take this dollar and bring it to life. So using augmented reality, this is where, and I'll give you a concept of where these are headed, but I can just take this dollar, put it on the ground right here, open up this app that's called 1600, and watch what's about to happen. Now, augmented reality is very interesting because I can move this dollar bill around and I still have it. So we're overlaying tech on top of other things. And even celebrities getting in with augmented reality. I have one more augmented reality demo, but I want to tell you about a really cool one they're going to have all over the new Celebrity Edge ship. They're going to have different zones that you can point your camera at, and you'll be able to actually see through walls into the crew areas. Live. Yeah, it's called X-ray vision. You'll be able to look into the bridge and different things like that. You won't have audio, you won't hear what they're saying. Not that you could understand it, but you won't hear what they're saying. But they're going to have, in different places throughout the ship, they're going to have something called X-ray vision, which is augmented reality. this is going to get bigger and bigger. And I'm going to show you one more cool augmented reality thing before we move on to the next thing. I want to show you something very cool. I convinced my mom using augmented reality that I got a tattoo. I said, Mom, I got a tattoo. She goes, no, you didn't. She's like, what did you get? I'm like, I got an anchor. So I want to show you where augmented reality gets interesting. All you need is what's called a marker in the real world, not a marker, but we're going to use a marker to make a marker. All you need is what's called a marker in the real world, and I can take my hand, my arm, and I'm just drawing a little smiley face on my arm, and this is going to augment my reality, to make my reality a little bit different. The name of this one is called Ink Hunter. And what's cool is it gives you a tattoo. Let me go into the light real quick. There we go. It has augmented my reality. I have my little marker right there. That's on my arm. I've not drawn a beautiful anchor, but I can go ahead and I can flex it. My mom died. I thought I raised you better. You weren't going to get a tattoo. And I went to the pool deck. I went everywhere. I had her going. She came onto the ship to visit Miami. She said, I want to see the tattoo now. You can't see the tattoo. But here's where things get interesting. Right now, we're right at the beginning of augmented reality. Augmented reality is going to be just as big as smartphones in 5 or 6 years' time. Now, there's some big players in the augmented reality movement, but I'll give you an example of where augmented reality can become. These are called Snapchat spectacles. I'm not recording you. There are cameras inside of these glasses. Then my phone can get the information off and interpret what's going on in those cameras and the glasses. It's really quite cool. Like the filters on and all that. Now they did try that with something called Google Glass back in the day. I have to say this, I don't know if I want to say this word. Well, the people that used Google Glass were very rude about using Google Glass in public, and people called them glass. There we go, he said it. Glass, there we go. She said it. Because they were very, but here's what's cool, is this is going to be built in. I can tell you in a couple years, you're going to be able to buy a pair of glasses that's going to give you everything your smartphone has on it and give you some concepts of what's going on there. It's really, really quite cool. But the next thing I want to talk about is I'm going to switch over to my iPad to talk about these things real quick. I want to talk about 2 reasons that we come on a cruise ship: to see places and eat food. See places and eat food. Let's go with see places first. I've got a really cool application called TRVL. That's short for travel. And what TRVL does is it shows you places all over the world. So it shows you places all over the world and gives you information about places all over the world. Iceland's there, Greenland's there, Ireland's there, and you can go in and you can go to any of these places. And this TRVL, it is a completely free app. And the nice thing you can do is you can actually download the things in here and view them offline. So you can download your entire cruise. You can read all these different magazines. Here we go. We've got Dublin there. We've got, where's Iceland? It's up here. Yep, we got Reykjavik. And we've got whale watching. And we've got all this information about all of these different places that's available on here to view for free. That's what's really cool. So it's a really cool app. It's called TRVL. Norway, I read all about Norway last time. And it's made by the visitors bureaus in each of these countries. It's made by the visitors bureaus in each of the little countries. And that's a really cool app. This one only works on iPhone and iPad. But I want to show you another one that I really like. How many of you have cookbooks at home? Like real cookbooks. Things that have paper in them. Antiques. One of my favorite cooking applications is called Epicurious. Have you ever heard of Epicurious before? And one of my favorite new things to do, I highly recommend if you've not done this before, it's called sous vide. Have you ever heard of sous vide? I got hooked on sous vide. It's cooking things in a water bath. So you will make ribs, but it will take 4 days to make the ribs. But if I go in, I can go ahead and I can type in anything I want to, and I can find recipes for steak, vegetables, chicken, pork, seafood, eggs. I can even search. So I'll give you an example. My buddy, his name is Bruno. He was one of the executive pastry chefs on board. He calls me one day and goes, Yichab, I have too much of a certain food on board and I need you to help me make a recipe. I'm like, fair enough. You're the chef. He goes, but I'm a pastry chef and I don't make this very much. And I said, what do you have too much of? He goes, I have too much bacon. And I'm like, how can you have too much bacon? And what we actually made, let me see if I can find it. We actually made bacon baklava. You say, oh, but bacon baklava is so good. Here we go. Bacon baklava. And I can read all the information. It only requires 3/4 of a cup of bacon and 3/4 of a cup of bacon fat. And you can read all of the instructions, all of the ingredients. You can add it to your shopping list. You can do all kinds of different things. It's a little small because it's not meant to be blown up on a giant screen like that. But it's called bacon baklava. And it's actually a staple in the kermesse on the Celebrity Equinox. They love their bacon baklava over there. Now I have one more app to show you today, and I'm going to go ahead to a lot of different apps tomorrow. We're going to be continuing this tomorrow in here at 1 o'clock. We're going to be taking a look at all about apps, including a little bit about Google Photos. How many have heard the concept on Google Photos yet? I want to play one of my favorite videos. I love this because this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and then I've got one more app I want to show you. This is the Happier Hollies. H-A-P-P-I-E-R. And this is something I know we've all faced before. You get a new phone and you're like,
your phone has been there for you. It's seen your best side and your worst days. It's there for you in the mornings, and it's the last thing you see at night. You go everywhere together. Everywhere. You've even saved its life. It's your loved ones, your love notes, and your memories. It's been there through it all, in the palm of your hand. But
forget that old piece of garbage because you just got a brand new phone and it is glorious. It's got everything except your photos. So download the Google Photos app, and all the photos on your old phone will be waiting for you on your new phone automatically. It's a holiday miracle. Happy holidays from Google Photos.
So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. We're going to talk about a couple more apps, but we're going to be talking about Google Photos a lot in here, as well as how you can take a physical photo and turn it into a digital photo by taking a picture of it, which is what's really cool. Is they have a companion app that allows you to do that called PhotoScan. But the last app I want to show you today is the only free app I've ever seen, and I actually was fortunate enough to go to the launch of this app. Now, what do I mean by free app? Nobody really profits from this application. I'll give you an example. I myself, just personal statement, I don't give money to charity because I know there's so much overhead in charities and stuff like that, but I did contribute money to the creation of this app because I thought it was a really cool concept. Someone approached me. It's very cool. I didn't really contribute money. I contributed my time, if that makes sense. I contributed my time. I gave them a lot of help with this app. But it's called Be My Eyes, and it's the only truly, out of 5 million apps, it's the only truly free app I've ever seen that's just about helping people. There's no overhead. There's no money in either direction. I want to show you a little bit about this app.
You might wonder how blind people deal with everyday challenges. Well, normally the answer is simple. They're not that different from you. We play music. We go to school. We go to work. You get the picture. But sometimes the simplest things can be difficult, and we need a pair of eyes.
Connect to.
That's where you come in.
Establishing video connection.
Through your smartphone, Be My Eyes connects the blind with sighted people through a live video connection. Simply choose if you need help or want to help by the click of a button.
Customize picture viewing family killer. Is this more present? Yes, it's a photo from our parents.
You can help just by installing the Be My Eyes app, and we'll notify you when someone needs your help. And if you're in the middle of something, don't worry. Someone else will step in. So, would you care to be my eyes? The Be My Eyes app. Find it in the App Store.
So what I think is really cool about this, it's a really nice app, and it has a big problem. It has more sighted people willing to help than it has blind people that need the help. And that's a good problem to have. It has 10,000 blind people signed up, and it has over 3 million sighted people signed up. And it's really cool. I like to end my apps class on that to show that there's still a lot of good in this world, if that makes sense. And that's why I like to end my apps class by talking about that. In here tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you do have on your Captain's Club letter something that says all about apps as well. It will not be the same class. It's all about apps part number 2. I'm going to show you some of my mom's favorite apps. I'm going to show you an app that tells you exactly when it's going to rain, exactly where you are, down to the second. Or snow. I'm not familiar with snow, but any type of precipitation, if you happen to be rain, snow, sleet, hail. Tell my mom takes her dogs for a walk during a hurricane. She does, and it is incredibly accurate. I'm going to show you some more augmented reality apps. We're going to talk about Google Photos. We're even going to, I got one more app I'll show you today. I want to leave you with this app because it's fun, and we might as well have some fun. I want to show you a really cool app to finish off today. This one is an app that every time I show this to someone, they're like, that app is ridiculous. And that's why I love to show it to someone. I've got to find it. I haven't put it in a folder yet. It's called Memoji. M-E-M-O-J-I. And we've probably all seen emojis before, right? You know those little things that... What it does is it turns you into an emoji. Memoji. Come on. Go up to my screen. M-E-M-O-J-I. Memoji. I'll show you in just a second as soon as he wants to come up on my screen. I shouldn't have... Hey, there we go. M-E-M-O-J-I. Let me show them to you. Memoji. And here's what I do. I need a volunteer. And let's say she's crying. Or maybe she's angry. Or happy. Or in love with her husband. But she's a little too cool. Sometimes drinks a little too much. But she really is an angel. And a devil. And a nerd. And it's really cool because it's all good fun. But it's a really cool app. It's called Memoji. I love it because when I send this, my dad's very angry sometimes, so I sent him a picture of him being angry, and he's like, that's not funny. So, my friend here wishes you a great rest of your day and gives you a kiss goodbye. I'll see you all back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock for All About Apps Part